Hi, I'm Harut Markarian, and this is Mobility and Inclusion, the show where we share the powerful stories of people with disabilities and daring entrepreneurs making waves in our world. From technological innovations to best practices in business, we'll learn what it really means to live in an inclusive and universally designed environment. Welcome to a new episode of Mobility and Inclusion. I am your host, Harut Markarian, and I am joined today with Brandon T. Adams, an author, speaker, and an all-around entrepreneur who I have the pleasure to call my brother. Brandon, welcome to the show.
Hey, I am happy to be here, brother from another mother. Excited to share some value and have some great conversation today.
Awesome. Yeah, you're really looking forward to this one, man. And I know I didn't do enough justice to what you do. So please, give us a quick rundown of what is it that you do and how should people know you?
What do I do? It depends on the day, but I'll give a quick background so you guys can have this mental thing in your brain. I used to sell ice for a living. So the next time you go and see cubed ice, you're going to think of Brand T. Adams. So that was my background, selling ice. I was in the ice business for years. I invented a product called Arctic Stick, the cool and flavored drinks. So that was a product I wanted to make more money in the ice business. I got a patent, trademark. Never really made any money from that, but it led me to marketing, crowdfunding, raising money, and I understood how to pitch. And I really understood this thing of growing a business, specifically through marketing. So I got into crowdfunding back in 2014. And so I helped people raise money. So Kickstarter, Indiegogo, I was helping them raise money for their endeavors or inventions. And what I found out is the thing that helped raise the money had a compelling offer, but also told a powerful story. But it was through the videos that we created. So it got the people's attention, it told the story, it showed the offer, and it got the call to action, which resulted in the money. And so we started creating videos for these projects. But then I eventually got into doing more video production and then going on and creating my own TV series. I went from a show called Ambitious Adventures to a show called Live to Grind. Ended up doing the movie Think and Grow Rich Legacy with some other people, and then doing the show Success in Your City, which went on to win Emmy Awards. So from ice business, inventor, fundraising to video production, and now what I do is I consult, advise, and invest in companies and help them grow specifically through video. How's that for a nutshell?
That is amazing, man. You mentioned a lot of stuff that I kind of wanted to touch on, but that's good. So you talked about video marketing, right? And you talked about the power of your story. So when you were first selling ice, did that came from a need you saw that there was, you saw that there was a need, or that you were already, someone in your family was already in the business and you tried to grow that business? What was that dynamic like?
So I had no choice. As soon as I got out of my mother's womb, my dad gave me a bag of ice and said, "Get to work, son." No, I mean, it was a little beyond that. But my dad in 1986, he got into the ice business, and then I was born in '89, and then ever when I was a kid, literally 3, 4, maybe 5 years old, I was dragging bags of ice down to the front of the truck so my dad would put in the coolers. But I was delivering ice, and then I got to see the business side of it, from working with customers, the relationships, the hard work, with your back. And so that's why I grew up in the business, bought the business from my father, worked with him, eventually had sold the business. But again, while I was pursuing that, the Arctic Stick came for me with a desire to grow. I wanted to make more money. I wanted to grow what my dad had created. And then eventually I realized that I wanted to get outside of that business, because what I really found out is for the amount of money I wanted to make, but also the impact I wanted to make on earth, I needed to get out of the ice business. I need to find, and it wasn't 25 years of doing it, 30. I mean, I was ready to be out of the ice business. And so that's where I transitioned. So it was a decade ago where I started getting into the online world. And then I became the guy in front of the camera and then doing these shows. And it's funny because I don't think there's anybody out there that's ever went from ice delivery guy to TV show and being in front of the camera. It's the most random projection, right?
Absolutely. So, but there's the two things that is very critical here. First of all, your willingness to do more and be more, right? So
Yeah.
first you did more with your existing business, like the ice business. Now you invented another product within that product, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then from there, you had a different vision, right? Different vision into going into doing this movie, right? So you
Yeah.
produced a movie. So talk to me
Yeah.
about how did you decide to switch the script now, to go from the business, the ice business that you were, potentially
Yep.
doing very good at, but, at the same time, not meeting your expectations in terms of like what you wanted for
Yep.
yourself, and then transitioning to the new vision of yours.
So it's a very good question. So I saw the trend of where things were going. And my dad always said, like, son, you don't want to be in the ice business for the rest of your life. And I saw on the internet, I saw online, like I saw where crowdfunding was going, raising money from an audience. I was ahead of my time, but I also going again, doing the endeavor with Arctic Stick as I was pursuing to make more money in the ice business. I saw the opportunity with crowdfunding because I needed to raise more money for my invention. And I went and raised more money. And then I realized, wow, a lot of people need access to capital and they know how to communicate their message and story. And so that's where I saw an opportunity in the market while still doing the ice business. I started pursuing this. And then this business started making more than the ice business. And then eventually I made that transition. And the biggest thing for me, Farouk, was when I had to make the commitment to lead the ice business, because think about something that was a part of your life for your whole life. It was a part of my identity. It was so hard for me to let go of something good to go after something great, but I knew I had to do it. And as soon as I sold and got completely out of the ice business, it completely changed. I looked at everything. I was all in on my other stuff. And then I grew. It took a little bit, but then I really kind of, what's the word, accelerated my growth. And so I guess it really comes down to going out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So many people stay comfortable. And even people, let's say if you grew up in a family business and you want to just kind of be in that business, for me, I wanted to do my own thing and grow, even though I was a big part of that. I wanted to create my own endeavors. And I did. I failed a lot, but eventually I found my groove. And I got to say, the ice business gave me that real life experience, because think about how many influencers are online who they've never actually had a real tangible business. They're just selling advice and all that. They haven't experienced what a real tangible brick and mortar business is. And it's not easy. But it gave me a perspective of how to help other companies that I scale now.
That's wonderful, and you touched on now you're trying to take me out of my train of thought that I had prepared for this one, but that's good. That's good. The more the more intuitive and genuine the conversation, the better, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah,
you touched on the comfort zone, right? Now I come from, you came from your dad's business. Have you ever held a job in a corporate setting?
Did I have a job in what?
In a corporate setting.
I did once, and it was in the ice business, corporate.
So yeah, the reason I asked that is because I've been groomed and kind of raised in the corporate world, right? My background is 15 years in the aerospace and defense industry, and now I'm transitioning out from it. So, my comfort zone is all way back there, right? In that, having a steady job, getting a steady paycheck. Now that I'm transitioning into my company, my robotics company, and the entrepreneurial journey, it's a bit scary, right? And I'm sure it was for you when you left that ice business to go into pursue your dreams, right? So
Yeah.
what's the value or the importance, I should say, in capturing that moment and not being fearful of it?
The problem for most people, let's say corporate specifically, because you get this comfort, and as you, let's say, go about your career, maybe you have a mortgage, you have kids, it's a little harder to leave because you have obligations, right?
Guilty.
Guilty. Like I personally have no kids. My wife today, like we did have to go through the sacrifices together. I'm glad I went through it because now I'm on the other side. Don't get me wrong, I still have my obstacles. Just the bigger the goal, the bigger the obstacles along the way. But I will say that it is so freeing to like just say fuck it and go all in. And so I had to do that. And I remember when I left corporate, because I was still an entrepreneur. The only reason I went into corporate is because I wanted to see how to do things at the highest level in the ice business.
Uh-huh.
And so, anyways, did that, and then I actually saw one of the highest levels as I was managing 8 facilities. I was 22. I was managing 50 employees, 8 centers, and I saw what it was like to be kind of at the top in that space. And I'm like, no, like this isn't what I want. Life can be easier. And so I left. I quit, and eventually left the ice business. And when I went all in on my own endeavors and outside of that, man, it felt so good. Yes, it was difficult at first, and I had to go through some things. But once I really got my group and where I'm at today, and it's growing in my own way, it's like it's so freeing. You have to go through hell sometimes to get the great things on the other side. Yeah. And if you're listening right now and you're like, you're questioning, you're wondering, I'm here to tell you to just do it, because if it doesn't kill you, it'll make you stronger. And I'm telling you, you will thank yourself. It might take 12 or 18 months. You will thank yourself on the other side once you get through that. And it really is like the thing that most people need to do. And sadly, they never do, because once they get beyond a certain age or a certain point, they're too deep and they just say, I'm going to give up.
Yeah. No, that's very true. I mean, I can relate a lot to a lot of what you said, because, you know, I'm married with kids, right? And I'm the only income earner in the house. So it's very scary for me to transition, to let all that go and go after my purpose, which is my robotics company. So I completely agree with everything that you're saying. It's scary, but at the same time, it's good kind of scary, right? I know that once I go through these few hurdles that are in front of me right now, the future is much brighter. And you know, and I was gonna say, like, you are also in video marketing. We also didn't talk about your Emmy Award, right? So before the video marketing, let's touch on. I have a lot of friends with disabilities who are actors and actresses, right? And you know, some are very accomplished, others are just in the beginning of their journey. And you know, I kind of want to hear your experience with the entertainment industry.
Yeah, so you have to be 100% like emerged. And so anybody that's ever achieved anything great in life, they had an obsession, a commitment, and they gave their whole life to that endeavor. And so to answer your question, whether Emmy or whatever it is, I made the commitment to myself, and it wasn't at the beginning to win Emmys. I gave the commitment back in 2014, 15, that I wanted to completely immerse myself in creating video content, because I saw what it could do with fundraising, building a brand, and being in front of the camera. I really enjoyed being in front of the camera. When I started, I was doing like some little bit of acting, modeling, commercials. And you, by the way, starting out, you don't make shit. Like you honestly are going to pay more on gas and travel to go get the gig than you're going to make. But that wasn't, for me, it was getting my reps in. It was getting in front of the camera. It was learning from other people. Right? It was practice. And so I was practicing, and then I started filming my own content. I bought a camera. My wife and I, girlfriend at the time, was filming me. And then I started hiring videographers. And then all the money that I made, I was pumping it back in to mastering my craft. So I started creating more video content, creating my own videos. And then I got into doing TV. And then I spent a lot more money. And I was literally grinding to fund my own investment into my brand and video content. And so I kept getting better and better, but it was a commitment. Mm-hmm. I could take my profits and I could go buy nice things, or I could take my profits and invest in this and invest in my brand, invest in content. And that's what I did. And then where I made my biggest investment, which almost completely broke me, but it taught me many things, is 2017. I had just done a couple TV shows. I was a part of the Think You're Rich movie, films in 3 languages, multi-million-dollar project. And so I ended up going and creating with my wife a show called Success in Your City. And it was a docuseries around the question, what is success? And so we traveled the country. And so we had, by the way, Like typical TV, people go pitch a pilot, they go get funding. Most people don't even get past that spot. And then they go get distribution and they go create a show. I said, we will build it, it will come. I funded it. And then I recruited sponsors and stuff like that. Never got investors, especially in the film space. So I was funding, throwing my own money in this and creating this show, traveling the country. And I went all in. I sold my house. I sold 99% of my things. I sold 2 of my businesses. I almost went bankrupt in the process. I lost almost everything, but I was committed. Some people will say, you're fucking stupid. Why did you do that? You're crazy. I was so committed. And this is one thing I want to say to people. Sometimes you will get to the point where you ask yourself, is it worth paying the price that you have to pay to achieve this thing? And I came to that, like, is it worth paying the price to get this thing? And I almost gave up, but I didn't. We created a show, won some Emmys. We got distribution. We got the show out there. We had all these successes. And now I have this story. We have a book on the story, the whole journey. Like, it gave me a platform. But I did what most people probably will never do, because any normal person would not do it. And going back to your question, if you're an actor or you're anybody that wants to achieve something great, you are going to have to give it everything you got plus some, and you're going to be challenged in so many ways. And you really got to ask yourself, do I want it? Either you'll figure a way or you'll figure an excuse. And so I just didn't have excuses. I figured it out. It was very strenuous, but I went all in.
That's awesome, man. That's an inspiring story, really. So, as you created success in your city and the road to the book, the road to success, why don't you give some insight into what success is? Like, what kind of success you talk about in the book and in the movie?
It's very simple. So this is a question, and if anybody can take anything away from this, is success to me is most likely different than success to you or anybody else. Success to you is different. What is your version of success? Not what other people want for you, not your parents, not what is success to you? And really be honest with yourself. What do I want? What is success to me in my business, in my relationships, my personal life, all areas of my life? And then once you know that, then you figure out, okay, how can I achieve this success? And so that's something I learned. And by the way, it'll change. I'm 32 years old. Success was different when I was 25. When I was 16, it was getting the girl and taking them on a date. Now, as I get to 35 and 40, it will change. So I'm always asking myself, what does success mean to me right now? And how am I living that? And if anybody can understand that and figure it out, because most people don't even know what that means. Like, what is success to that person? So I figured that out, and then I just went in on that. And I didn't care what others thought, because you look at social media, you look at all their things, and
a lot of
they
outside
tell
noise,
you this is what it means to be successful. Success is what you make it.
Yeah.
Get the other bullshit. Yeah, there's people that can give you guidance, insight, and help you. But just because they're telling you that's what success is, it doesn't necessarily mean that is it for you. So it's different for everybody.
No, that's a great way to put it. Now, since we talked about success, as you were talking, I thought about mentors. So talk to us about how important is it for someone to get mentorship and mentoring, and who your mentor should be. That's how do you pick your mentor? Let's start with that.
Yeah, so it's so powerful. You always see, like, who do you want to become? Yeah. I look at who do I want to become and who's already achieved that in whatever way. So, like, we both have a common mentor and friend, Jeff Hoffman, part of Priceline.com, is part of your company.
Yep.
Jeff was somebody I wanted to be like in my own way. So what I found ways to help him and be of value, and we started working together. I have other mentors that they achieved what I want to achieve. They were years ahead of me. And I realized if I could get them as a mentor, I had to hire them. I had to find ways to help them, add value to them. They can help me get to where I wanted to go much quicker. Absolutely. And the problem is most people try to do it themselves, and it takes them way longer.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I would much rather invest time, money, and energy in the right people who could get me there quicker, which allows me to become more successful in a shorter period of time. And the old saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, it is 100% true, because the people I'm surrounding myself with, just by being in their presence, I'm making more money, I'm learning, I'm thinking differently.
yeah.
And so be very cautious of who you spend your time with. I am so particular in who I'm spending my time with, because the wrong people can put you in the wrong direction, but also make you not feel on top of your game because of how they communicate, how they act around you.
Yeah, yeah, that's very, very true. You know, association is powerful. So who you associate with can either make you or break you. To in the
It's
simplest of ways.
100% right, man.
Uh,
It's 100%.
Absolutely. And you know, as you know, how important nowadays, you know the industry right now. You're an entrepreneur, you're meeting a lot of people, you're doing business with a lot of people. How important would you say video marketing is? And how do you, that's one question. And then afterwards, once you answer that, now tell us why you should try your best to establish your brand.
Yeah, so the reason why video is so powerful, because it's the best way to tell a powerful story. It's the best way to build like and trust with somebody. Why do I say that? As we do this video interview here, it's proven that if somebody can see your face, if you're smiling, you're perceived as a nicer person. If they can see your eyes, you're more likely to be seen as a trustworthy person.
Yeah.
There's a lot of communication that happens in facial expressions, hand gestures. And so that's knowing that if you're on camera, you can build more like and trust. But also with everything, with editing and everything, you can create emotion behind something through music, through the content called B-roll, the emotional things you put
You
on it.
beat me
There's a
to it.
story behind that. B-roll. But when you create this emotion in a powerful film, video, show, movie, like, you can get somebody to really buy into you and your story, which means they're more likely to work with you. They're more likely to join your community, your cause. And so that's why I believe video is so powerful, and the why building a personal brand, video is the quickest way to do that. Like
Absolutely.
podcasting, a book, all these ways are a great way to build a personal brand. But with the video, I feel like it goes so much deeper, so much deeper. And also on social media, it spreads the quickest. And so when you do that, you're building a brand, you're building more like and trust. That means more people know you, they're more likely to buy from you. And the best example I could give, there's a film out there, Operation OUR, and it's great film. It's spreading awareness around a very sad thing, sex trafficking that's happening around the world. And
Yeah.
the film was shot in such a powerful way, emotional. And at the end of the film, what it did is they actually created a whole landing page for this. They said, hey, if you want to get a part of this and help end sex trafficking, you can donate towards a cause. They showed that premiere of that film at Tony Robbins' like event or ClickFunnels event. They raised millions of dollars at that event.
Wow.
And at his birthday, I think they raised over $10 million for a cause. But that's a true potential. You can see what a video or film can do to raise awareness and get people to give money towards a cause. And again, that's why I love the power of video. You can tell stories, you can build communities, you can raise money, you can make money. It's as you can tell, I'm passionate about it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, that's wonderful, man. And being a video marketing expert, I wanted to touch on that because it's very critical nowadays. And you were the one who kind of pushed me to do video marketing more and more, even though I don't do it enough yet, just because my focus are other places. And I'm super busy, but I realize how important video marketing really is, especially if you own a business, right? Especially if you're trying to sell something. And there's a saying, I don't know, I'm not really sure who said it, but every one of us is actually an offering to someone else, right? So we offer our services, our products, our whatever. So you have something to sell, a service, a product, whatever it may be. You need to have video marketing, right? You need to do video marketing.
You do. I mean, anything. You raising money for a company, you need video marketing. You're raising money for a charity, you need video marketing. You're trying to sell a product or service, you need video marketing. And whatever it is, I can give you an example of why you can use video marketing.
Yeah.
There is no business I know of that doesn't involve video marketing. It's really, again, just a medium to build like and trust and communicate a message on a higher level. You can go to 1 million in-person meetings and you're communicating and you're building trust with a person, you'll close deals. I can create a video, I can upload it to the web, and I can build like and trust with a lot of people, and I can exponentially grow my like and trust, which exponentially grows the amount of money that I make.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Awesome. Where can people find you?
You can find me anywhere on social media at Brandon T. Adams. You can find me hanging out with Harut sometime in LA or at Rise and Record this fall at my event in October. But thank you. By the way, if you're listening to this show, Harut is a man. He is, dude, we met a year ago.
Yeah.
We got to hang out, go through the mastermind together with Jeff Hoffman, and so much like bond relationship. It's like, I love you, man. I love what you're doing.
Thank you, man.
And I love what the future is going to do. We are just getting started, just so you know.
Absolutely.
There's a bright future ahead, and we're going to smoke some cigars soon.
Hey, that is for sure, man. That is for sure. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, man. I know you're a busy guy. I appreciate you giving us some of your time. Well, this was it, folks. Brandon T. Adams, hit him up. He can truly help you. He has the Rise and Record 3-day event, right? It's a 3-day event.
Three-day event, riseandrecord.com, all around using video to share your story and grow your business.
There you have it. This is Mobility and Inclusion. I am Harut Markarian. I'll see you next time with a different guest. Bye.